The film begins with Lena lying unconscious in a lake. Then the story flashes back to her childhood. We see that she spent her entire life living in the forest with her father and mother. She used to go hunting with her father, who taught her everything she needed in order to survive. One day, she is ready to kill her first deer. She follows its footprints and realizes it has been running away from them until she finally reaches it. She raises the rifle, and her father tells her that if she doesn't hunt, they will go to sleep without food. She calms herself, but just before pulling the trigger, she notices that the deer has been frightened by the sound of the trees. She cannot bring herself to kill it and returns home. Her mother becomes angry because Lena failed to kill the deer, meaning they will not eat. Her mother is silent most of the time and barely speaks. Later, her father draws the second tattoo on Lena's arm. The next day, they go hunting again and find a deer's leg tied with a rope. Her father explains that the deer sacrificed part of its body in order to survive. They manage to track down the deer and prepare a feast. Helena steps away from the fire and watches her father hide his weapon. He is clearly hiding a big secret that no one knows about. When he comes back, he hugs her and tells her that if she wants to be like him, she must first become a hunter. That night, Helena wakes up to a noise outside the house. She opens the door and finds a wolf standing there, freezing in place. Her father comes up behind her and says the wolf is hungry. He goes to get his weapon and tells her to kill it. She suggests they could bring it some food, but he explains that they are prey to the wolf, and that a wolf will do anything to eat. Helena hesitates and refuses to kill it, so her father takes the weapon and kills the wolf himself. He tells her that she must do whatever it takes to protect her family. The next day, her father goes hunting again. Helena wants to go with him, but he stops her and tells her he will go alone and bring her a gift when he returns. A full day passes as she waits for him. A stranger then arrives, saying he is lost and asking for directions. Her mother immediately runs to him, begging him to save her before he comes back. She jumps onto his motorcycle with Helena, terrified. The man is confused and doesn't want to take them with him, asking her to get off. While he is speaking, he is suddenly shot and falls to the ground, bleeding to death. Helena tries to escape and run back to her father, but her mother stops her. They both fall to the ground, and her mother hits Helena on the head, causing her to lose consciousness. After that, her mother escapes the forest quickly before Jacob can catch up with them. Helena wakes up to find herself at a police station, confused and unable to understand what is happening around her. A police officer comes to reassure her. She later sees her mother and screams at her, insisting that they must return to her father immediately. Beth breaks down crying and claims that Jacob kidnapped her and forced her to live in the forest. Helena does not believe her at all and insists her mother is lying, because her father told her so. Helena is locked in a room and tries to open the surrounding doors but fails. Suddenly, she notices her necklace, which she had forgotten in the forest, hanging on the window. She opens it and escapes. While fleeing, she sees many people and unfamiliar things around her and becomes scared. Then her father appears in front of her, and she feels relieved and happy. She runs toward him. He tries to take her and escape quickly, but the police arrive. He promises her that one day he will come back for her, then runs away. A long time passes. Helena grows up and has a young daughter named Marigold. She later goes with her husband to a villa outside the city, but she still struggles to fully integrate. People constantly ask her about her tattoo, which makes her uncomfortable. We then see a police transport vehicle carrying a dangerous prisoner, Jacob, Helena's father. He manages to break free from his restraints, attacks the officer, steals his gun, kills him, and then kills the driver as well. The next day, Helena returns home from work and is shocked to find many police officers at her house. She runs inside in panic. A policewoman lists all the fake names Helena has used throughout her life, until Helena finally admits that she is the daughter of Beth and Jacob, known as the King of the Marshes. She is told that her father escaped the previous day while being transferred to another prison and that she may now be in danger. When asked whether her father has contacted her, she denies it and says he has known nothing about her since she was 10 years old. At that moment, her husband arrives. Helena becomes extremely anxious because she had told him that both her parents died in a car accident. He is shocked to learn that the notorious criminal is her father. When Marigold enters the room, her husband takes her and leaves the house, deeply upset. Helena is devastated. The police assign guards to protect her. Her father is later seen standing in the forest with another escaped prisoner. A man arrives in a car, and they get in with him. Officer Clark, who knew Helena when she was a child, comes to check on her after her husband learns the truth. Later, she is summoned to the station, where she is informed that her father died in a car fire while attempting to cross into Canada. The driver made a mistake, causing an accident. Helena is deeply affected, but she shows no emotion. The next day, Stephen arrives with Marigold. Helena explains why she never told him the truth, saying that if he had known, they would never have had Marigold, he would never have loved her, and he might even leave her now. Stephen assures her that he will always stay with her. All he asks is that she be honest and tell him what is truly bothering her. She says nothing and breaks down crying. That night, Stephen tells her he will sleep at the office and leaves. As he drives away, he is surprised to find Helena standing in front of the car. She tells him everything about herself, that she goes out at night because she still doesn't know who she really is, and that she struggles with trust because the person she loved and trusted is someone everyone says is evil. That night, Jacob appears and calls her by the name he used to call her, Little Shadow. She wakes up in terror, runs to her daughter, picks her up, places her on the bed, and sits beside her, guarding her through the night. After that, she goes with her family to visit Clark. They had lived with him after her mother married him, and now Helena wants him to be part of her family again and to become a grandfather to Marigold. The next day, during the celebration, she meets one of her friends. At the same time, she hears the sound of her father's whistle, the one he gave her a long time ago. She becomes anxious and tries to find the source of the whistling, but she finds no one. She immediately returns home, secures the area with wire, and sets up a bell so she can hear it if anyone approaches. That night, she hears the bell ringing repeatedly. She grabs a knife, goes downstairs, and heads toward the forest, but she finds a dead rabbit. She suddenly remembers her daughter and runs back home in a panic. She meets Stephen, who reassures her that Marigold is safe. He tells her he will call the police to send a patrol to protect them and insists that she should not go into the forest alone. The next day, she calls Clark and tells him she is certain that her father is still alive and that he is currently present in her life. However, Clark keeps talking to her from a psychological point of view, telling her she needs to remove him from her life and that he is sure her father died in the fire. Despite all this, she remains unconvinced and starts searching online for everything related to the incident. Later, she goes to her daughter and is shocked to find the handmade toys she made when she was a child among Marigold's toys. She takes them, becomes extremely worried about her daughter, and takes her to school. After that, she stops by Stephen's office and tells him she is going on a trip that will change her, and that this is the last secret she cannot tell him, that they were the ones who saved her. Then she leaves. She reaches the forest and spends the night there. In the morning, she follows the river until she gets close to the place where she used to live. She then arrives at the waterfall her father once gave her as a gift, which she named Helena Falls, and finally reaches their old house. She is shocked to find her father standing behind her and doesn't know what to do. She loves him, but at the same time she doesn't want him to hurt her family. She goes with him into the forest by the lake, where he reminds her of everything they used to do together, and how happy she was with him. He offers that she bring Marigold with her, and that the three of them escape to Canada together. Helena thinks for a moment, then remembers the day she saw her mother soaking wet, when it turned out her father was drowning her, and preparing to escape again. If he hadn't seen Helena and let go, he would have killed her mother. Remembering all this, Helena tells him she doesn't want him to come near her family ever again. She says goodbye and leaves, looking at their house one last time. She is surprised when Clark arrives at the place, and asks whether her father is there. She lies and tells him he left, but her father suddenly appears behind her. The two men exchange gunfire, and Jacob manages to kill Clark. Helena tries to stop the bleeding, but it's useless. Clark dies. Jacob grabs Helena by the hair and throws her into the pit, telling her he's going to get Marigold so they can be a family again. Helena is terrified, but she notices the words she once carved into the ground when her father threw her into the same pit years ago. "You must protect your family, no matter what." She remembers her mother rescuing her, and repeatedly telling her that she was braver and stronger than she was. Helena is deeply moved by those words. She gathers her courage and starts climbing up, but she can't lift the cover. She clings to it and tries to tear it off, falls back down, but this time manages to break through and escape the pit. She looks at Clark with sadness and promises she will come back for him. Then she enters the room where Jacob used to hide his weapons, breaks the lock, takes his rifle, loads it, and runs through the forest to catch him. She spots him in the boat and tries to shoot, but she's shaking with fear and her hands are trembling. She takes a deep breath, calms herself, and fires. The bullet hits the paddle instead. Jacob dives into the water. Helena follows him, but can't find him. She notices a warm trail of blood, which means she has to hurry to catch up with him. When she reaches the shore, she sees footprints showing someone running. She realizes he's scared and that he'll use a place where no one can see him, just like he taught her long ago. She thinks for a moment and figures he's smart, so she heads toward the open ground, walking through the mud while staying alert to her surroundings. She passes by a patch of water and ignores it, but Jacob is hiding underneath. He emerges, pulls out his gun, and shoots her before she can react. He tells her not to worry, the wound is superficial, and that she needs to be okay for Marigold, because her daughter will want her mother able to stand on her feet when they go to get her. He handcuffs her and forces her to lead him to the place where the boat is. When they reach the edge, Helena talks to him and says she always wished she could meet him again to know how it would feel. She realizes now that calling her Little Shadow wasn't the reason she stayed with him all her life, but because a shadow has no existence unless the one it belongs to is standing beside it. She admits that she spent her entire life blaming her mother for everything that happened and never believed her, even though her mother loved her and stayed with Jacob all those years for her sake. Her mother could have escaped and left her, but she endured everything until she saved her. Jacob says he did everything for her and spent years in prison because of her, because he came to take her. He asks her what she would do for Marigold. Helena breaks down crying and says she would have died for her daughter. She looks down over the cliff, suddenly slips, and grabs onto a tree trunk, begging her father to help her. When he climbs down to pull her up, she grabs his neck, and they both fall, tumbling into the water. This turns out to be the opening scene of the film. At that moment, Helena remembers the story her mother used to tell her, one she later told Marigold herself. She gets up, her body battered and broken, and sees that Jacob is still alive. With great difficulty, she grabs the gun and points it at him. He tries to stop her from shooting while also reaching for his own weapon. She tells him she doesn't hate him and that there's no hatred between them, but she is going to follow his own words, doing whatever it takes to protect her family. She pulls the trigger and kills him. She then crawls out of the water onto the shore, seeing visions of her past, herself and her mother. Finally, she gets into the boat and rows back to her family once again. And that is the end of our film. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.